Everyone, Jacketing here. Welcome back to the PhD and 6-star venture co-project of the GLTC 86. Technically, it's really my dream project, but Chach and 6 Star has been a crazy help. And as you guys seen in the last video, the 86 actually made it for a race, minus a couple corners. But as you know, the exhaust kind of fell off and the things kind of unraveled from there rather quickly, and we didn't really get to our goal of completing a full race weekend. We did complete a race, just not a full weekend. But we're kind of back at 6 Star doing some further upgrades. And first off, thanks to our sponsors at iBuck for providing us with a bunch of new spring options. One of the springs is actually on that already, so I had to pick the wrong box. Should have been the other one. There we go. These are the iBuck linear coilover springs, a metric. So super easy for us because it's a Japanese car. Most of the guys use kilos and stuff, and you can just use these. Super nice, slightly shorter than the ones we had before. I think they should help. Also, look at how good they look. Look at how beauty this is. Another fancy update from the guys at Annex Suspension are these parts. There you go. Look at that. This is the Annex's newer, the caster camber adjustment plates. So as you can tell, there's camber adjustment because you can still shove your camber plate this way, but also the studs move left and right. So you can also have caster. So I can also adjust caster from the top hat as well as from the lower tension rods that are here. So we basically have the ability to make the strut kind of sit wherever we want at whatever degree of camber we want. Oh yeah, we can do some very crazy and wild things here. But there it is, the iBuck springs and helpers put together. Very pretty. I really like this color combo of all the red bits of the Annex and the iBuck. I love it. Watch me do this cinematic angle. It's like some interstellar shit. There we go. It's in.
It's like operation.
Yes.
Touch the side.
There it is. Oh, get it. All right, one's in. Two's in. 3 is in.
Spin them as far down as you can.
Super fast. All right, good.
All right, there you go.
Woo! The exhaust that was that kind of fell off. Chach actually already repaired the kind of destroyed header and actually added the brace, if you can tell, over there to the engine block now. And the entire pipe, we had to reuse a little bit of whatever we had left over. And the entire tip is now new. It actually sticks out a little bit more than the old one. The old one kind of ended underneath the car. This new one actually sticks out further. Because I want my flames pointed at my enemies, at my rivals who are trying to pass me on this side. You know, my shoot flames like 7 feet long, like yay long flames. I think they'll distract them pretty good in the braking zone. And if you can see down there, we had to add a flex joint because the old exhaust didn't have any flexes in there. So when the back of it was dangling and bouncing on the ground, it was literally right here and about to. That's how it broke the weld this time because there was no flex to soak up any differences effectively, and the engine was vibrating obviously, and the back half of the exhaust was vibrating. So now with a flex, that should be better. We've rerouted some stuff because, as you can tell right there, where the white paint has now been blasted, we decided the engine wire harness probably shouldn't go around here just in case the same thing happens again. Chach made a new hole kind of on the firewall right there, so now my engine harness tucks nicely through there. The O2 sensor is still going to run from there to there, but that'll be okay. This is easy access. Oh, check these out. No, this is what's left of the old O2 sensor because, well, here, you know, that really disconnected right there. So that's unfortunately dead. Other thing that got accidentally killed was my fuel line. This was actually the fuel feed line, and when the exhaust started dangling underneath the car, it was either rubbing or just straight cooking this line. And you can tell it's not very round anymore, and it almost went through. I think I can count myself lucky because maybe one more lap and I, you know, instead of danger to manifold, I think the 86 would have been actually engulfed in flames because that's the fuel feed line, meaning the pump is pumping fuel this way into the car and it kind of runs underneath my asses. That would have been a good time. Yeah, that would have been a good time. So thank you for the decent quality line, Radium. Oh, I've got some new mirrors. They're questionable, but they look interesting, so they are on the car. I don't know how much I can see out of them, but we'll find out. We'll find out very shortly. This somehow broke at CMP. I think my aluminum rib nuts that I had to use wasn't very good. So we'll have to fix that. This side's fine. That side broke. Well, in the suspension, as you can tell, last time we had a little bit of rubbing. There was a little bit over there, but that's actually the frame. So we can't exactly do much about that. But on the driver, kind of the footwell area, Chach got a big ass hammer, the BFH, and decided to hammer most of this actually pretty flat. You can tell it's much better than it was before. There was rubbing a little bit here and on the other side also. So all the tabs that used to be sticking out like another like inch or so, now it's all gone. This is kind of where the pad used to be and stuff. So much better this way. We have more real top clearance. On the last build, last version, we had a little bit of problem with the steering column. It wouldn't move up enough. Yeah. And the seat was actually too high also. So we've modified the seat so now it goes down about 1/2 inch more. And the steering column now moves up about 1/2 inch more, which means my driving position should be better. Because before the steering wheel was actually kind of on my knees and everything, on my leg. And so if I have heavy braking, I'm literally steering wheel's touching my leg. So now that shouldn't be an issue anymore. And we didn't have to modify any of the brackets, which was very nice. And now Chach is just doing, oh yeah. So what we're doing now is anti-intrusion bars. So according to the guys at Grid Life Tech, that we should have had these added to our cage. Which is actually, we're going to add a plate right around there and then one more bar from the plate to the main hoop kind of right there. Just in case if we get hit in the kind of like the wheel area, there's a bar over there to protect it from, coming into the driver footwell. And there goes my pristine little feet. At CMP, this thing was actually slightly overweight, which was kind of a surprise. We didn't have time to put this thing on the scale, so I didn't know how much it was going to weigh. I was hoping kind of around 2,000 pounds, 2,200. Instead, it was actually with me 2,400, 2,450, 2,440, which is quite chunky boy, not helped by the fact that I added like so much extra strength, structural rigidity, strength, like extra bracing. We're adding a little bit of weight back in with the roll cage, which doesn't help, but that's safety. You can't really touch that. But what I am gonna do, because I actually have my bumper lights working, the indicator looking thing, those are kind of acting as a new headlight. And so, regrettably, I've had to get rid of the pop-up headlights. So now our pop-up is covered. Well, pop-up cover only exists and just have these little bars, little strips of aluminum, effectively holding the cover of the pop-up headlight on. So no, it won't have pop-ups. Sad, but performance. It's a race car, and this is about 15 pounds lighter, I think, both sides together. One more thing we're gonna work on is the radiator. So we had some cooling issues last time out. You guys remember, I barely was able to bring this thing up to I had to short shift and all that, just to make sure the car actually finished and the engine temp didn't go over 230. Well, we think what was happening was the thermostat inside the thermostat housing was actually getting kind of stuck. So it wasn't letting water cycle through the cooling system as efficiently as we wanted to. So, first off, we fixed it, we changed the thermostat. Hopefully that fixes it. But in case it doesn't, we're gonna go extra overkill on the cooling as well. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna add ducting all the way to the front bumper. So from here, you have one more here, one more piece here. So all the air that flows into the front bumper opening gets forced through the radiator. Not just that, we're also working on, because magically we've shoved the engine back and that costs us like 60, 80 hours of freaking labor. Thanks, Chach. We're also going to do ducting out of the radiator and kind of curve upwards and out the hood, which we're going to cut a big asshole out of, because that is going to give us basically, one, better cooling because all the air gets forced out of here, Two, because of the way it gets forced upwards and out on the front of the car, we get free front downforce. That's actually a really, really interesting point, and so that's what we're gonna do. I absolutely want front downforce on this thing. I have no rear wing, no downforce on the rear to speak of, but I definitely want it on the front because front downforce means oversteer. And, I'm not Jimmy Diggs for nothing, all right? This radiator is, shrouded specifically for their, little fans, which I think is decent, but it's also tiny. So we might, cut this shroud off and just let the radiator flow through cleanly and just put a single fan here or just reuse a single one. But yeah, I'm worried these these shrouds is actually restricting our airflow. And then apparently these fans aren't very powerful either, which adds to the concern again, right? This is a K24 making 180 horsepower. This radiator should be able to cool it along with the oil cooler. This should not have coolant issues. This should not have any cooling issues. And because of it is, you know, I don't know. We'll decide on this, and when I decide on it, I'll show you shortly. Let's see what else is on the list. Sunroof panel. Yeah, I still need that. Plum fire suppressor nozzle. Considering the car almost lost the freaking exhaust and I thought it was fire, we probably need a fire nozzle. So we're planning on 3. 1, 2, 3 towards the engine, 1 towards the driver, 1 towards the empty passenger side, just in case, because that's where the exhaust is. So that helps. Coolant, well, coolant's pending whatever we do to the radiator over there. So that might have to get changed again. Anti-intrusion bar. That's happening right now. Pedal cam bracket, yes, because you guys asked for it. You guys wanted pedal cam, and I am going to have to make something because, well, me and Chach, we're going to have to come up with something because, well, you know, there's usually I double side tape a piece of GoPro mount somewhere. Oh, I might be able to right here. I also don't want it to hit the steering rack or something or anything like that, but maybe something like this and point it that way might work. But yeah, we might have to figure something out and get you a bracket somewhere here that then you can, you know, you guys can see my lovely DJ footwork. Well, it turns out at the last race, we're having a bit of an oil leak. The oil pan, turns out, was a little bit cracked. That's been repaired. Everything's sealed back together. Thank God, Chach was so fast. We're putting back in the VP Pro Grade 5W30, full synthetic oil. These have been working really well for us. We've been using it in the M2, and we're going to keep using this in the K24. So thank you, VP. And we're going to be using the VP Racing Coolant as well for the cooling system. That's been all good. Hopefully, that's going to get the K24 in this car back on tip-top shape. I also kind of like that, you know, the exhaust is kind of colored in a little bit, being used. I freaking love it. We're going to add the titanium heated shield, which is somewhere over there. We got to add it back in here because, well, part of my concern with the heat cooling system is I'm wondering if it's the header partially cooking the oil that's in the head, because, you know, it's right here. But the exhaust cam is probably significantly hotter than the intake cam. So yeah, we're gonna build the heat shield that, you know, I previously built but wasn't fully secured because it was only using 1 point, and in a K24 if you just have one M6 bolt holding something in, it's gonna wiggle loose, and it wiggled loose and it almost fell off on track. So we decided not to do that, not to use it. But that's gonna go back in for hopefully the next race. Got the doors and got the hood. There isn't much left on this hood, but this is still a steel hood. So it should still, you know, there's a bit of structure over here we're gonna cut out, and also the hinge area, because now we're on the aero latches that are down here and also over here. We really don't need this hinge part, so we're gonna try and cut out as much of this material as we can. Again, the car's overweight, we're gonna try and save weight where we can. Same thing with the doors, because we have the door bars on the, you know, cage and everything already. Technically, I don't think we need the impact bar inside. And also most of the frame of the door can get chopped. So we're gonna do that because, well, we're 100 pounds overweight. Preferably, I would like a full fiberglass trunk, because right now this is a steel OEM trunk, but with a fiberglass kind of the rear wing, rear spoiler, sorry, molded in. And it looks beautiful because I love it, and I love this look. The ducktail is absolutely my look for the GLTC car. I can try and order another fiberglass or carbon fiber from Sabon like trunk, but it won't have the spoiler, and you have to do the molding job again. And even though I like this so much, I mean, there's no, oh, it's really hefty. So, you know, this is really gotta go. Otherwise, this is 50 pounds. Even with the leg stand in the back here, it's still 50 pounds. So between the hood, the doors, and the hatch, which we're trying to figure out, that's a bit of weight. If any of my friends are in Ireland and watching this video, and you're nice enough to go down to like Group D, where Darren McNamara is doing his fancy drift car stuff, if you can, please buy a Group D deck lid and bring it to the States for me. I will pay you handsomely, because I do need one. I try to get one, and I don't think they're that interested. So I've got a hood coming. It just takes a while. So everything takes a while when it comes to an 86, doesn't it? Plum hose to ECU map port. So Well, our lovely tuner, Andy Smedegard of ASM Racing, ASM Motorsports, said, you know, when the car was on dyno, he was the one doing the basically safety tune and all that, making sure everything worked. He said, rather than using the map sensor over here, he'd prefer us if we can just run a hose from this straight to the ECU, which is here, and I guess just straight to this port. Yeah. So he says to do that because it'll be slightly more accurate, according to him. And so we're gonna run that, and I think, well, and the roof and a couple small other things. Changing rear springs, we're still gotta change the rear springs. I wanted to go up a little bit stiffer in that. Car looks oversteery, but I want it to be more oversteery. I think it can be better. So yeah, we're gonna do that. And that's kind of it. That will be a decent list. I mean, it's already been a huge freaking list. Yeah, and then that would be good for kind of the summer phase of our season, I think, to work on the driving, the brakes, a little bit everywhere, getting comfortable and getting used to the car, really pushing the limits at a track we know. I think Autobahn, Gingerman, Blackhawk, those sort of tracks are really going to be good for this car. We're signed up for Road America, but I'm pretty sure, according to my fancy math, that at 8,000 RPM in 6th gear, this thing tops out at 125 miles an hour. And I don't think that's very conducive towards racing at Road America. I think we're gonna blow the freaking engine up. Oh, you found a paintbrush.
Yeah, I'm gonna paint pretty little trees.
Just don't paint little dicks on my car. Oh, thank you.
4 layers.
Yeah. It's got white, it's got blue, it's got whatever the black stuff is.
So you got
Yeah.
the sealer.
Yeah.
You got your red.
Oh, the original car color, yes.
Yeah, and then you got
The-
blue.
the
and
Ford
then you got
Grabber blue.
And then you got the white.
And then the white, yeah. Maybe that's why the car weighs like 1,800 pounds more than it's supposed to do. Maybe we should acid dip the car. You want to strip the car down again?
Yeah, we don't ever plan to drive it this year.
Maybe not this year. Oh, one more thing that happened last weekend. When I was literally racing, I think qualifying, the mirror, the very first mirror of my quad mirror housing somehow came off. This is what I get for buying cheap things on Amazon. It fell off, like in the video, you'll just see like this, like suddenly mid-race, like something fly through shot. That was that. Yeah, that fell off. And it disappeared somehow, so. All right, ladies and gents, you join us with the 86 on the alignment rack. We've done some very fancy things to it. I mean, first off, look at the friggin' ducting. Oh yeah, the front ducting. So all the way to the bumper, all the way to the bumper and the radiator. And then if you look up here, everything from the radiator drops straight out. And Alex was able to design this pretty easily in the SolidWorks, and we printed it out of 4 pieces, double-side taped it straight on the hood, and then we get our extractor gurney flap. That's not bad. We've got the new aero mirrors that probably means I can't see anything, but we'll deal with that later. Over here, we added a small little bracket right here. That's where the pedal cam is gonna go. I'm gonna double-side tape a GoPro mount adapter on this, pedal cam that way, and then you'll be able to enjoy beautiful footwork. Our version 2 exhaust is now held on much better and much stiffer. It's actually using an exhaust bushing rather than a hanger. So the bushing is bolted together to the mount that comes off the chassis. So there's like very little play. We put a roof on it, which is great. It's literally just a sheet of aluminum riveted into the sunroof, because I didn't want to put the original sunroof panel back in because it's just so much weight. But yeah, look, it works. It works. One thing I actually do notice right here, if you look at the control arm angle, the lower control arm right over here, it's still slightly pointed upwards, even with a giant roll center adjuster. I mean, well, in SPL for the Super and M2 kids, they give you like this much roll center adjustment. There is a metric shit ton. I think that's the appropriate the word for that. That's from Battle Garage for the roll center adjuster, and it's still not enough. So maybe I'll ask them for a slightly bigger one, if that even exists. So you just want to like, But then also, the more you do that, the closer it is to get to your wheel, and it might nick your wheel. And I think I might just be out of room. And if that's the case, do I have to raise the car? I don't want to raise the car. Bit of a process, but we managed to shorten, basically square up the rear axle. It was a little bit like this. So what we did was take both this, the lower of the forelinks, and the upper forelink, shorten both. This is a pain. This is a real pain in the behind to adjust, because there's this in the way, so you can't really get to that lock nut. So you have to somehow undo this upper one, take the thing out, spin it, and then put it back, and then it doesn't line up and all that. So what we're gonna do in the future is, I learned it from Dai Yoshihara, his build on his car. This part doesn't exist anymore. It's just one big box cut and weld onto the floor. And I was wondering why they did it until I realized, oh yeah, because then you can just unlock that with the tool and then unlock that and then you just twist it this way. There's none of this in the way, and the drive shaft would have ample room, you know, to do its drive shafting. Yeah, so that's what we're gonna do as part of the next revision, which is cut the back half of the floor too. We did it the front half already, we might as well cut the back half too. It's a race car, and function over form, and utilitarian purposes such as being able to adjust my ancient archaic suspension is more important than keeping that little bit of OEM floor. Obviously we might need to redo some lines, some fuel lines, some brackets, whatnot. I don't care. This project is so involved, we've spent so much money, and I'm going to do it the way I want. Nothing else matters.
They don't like curves, but
yeah, it worked really fast. Holy shit.
yeah.
That's outrageous. That's steel. This cuts it like it's aluminum.
Oh look, your mirror.
Oh! No, that's where it went. Damn. That's a steel. That's a steel door. All right, so Chach and I are, you know, going through the things and discovering, you know, this car used to be red, because you can tell from all this. That side is for sure a red door. But then why the fuck is this one a yellow door? And more besides the point, this is original yellow. This is not painted over yellow. It's painted over white, but originally this is a yellow door. Yeah, JT.
So it's an SR5 door because it's an A86. February.
I can't read anything else.
Told you it was an 84 door. Look, February 1984. Watch, we keep cleaning it.
Doing archaeology here. It is 1984, you're right. Oh my god.
Yeah, so it's an SR, yellow SR5.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yellow SR5. Wow. I didn't even know they came in yellow.
Yeah. Only the Zenkis will have the goofy colors.
I've never seen a yellow 86 actually.
That'd be nice. I first noticed when I saw the molding missing, I saw
like all I never noticed that. I never noticed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
I noticed all kind of shit in these cars.
Yeah. Well, it's cut and it's heavy, but we can't maneuver it out.
I got an idea. Put
Okay.
the end off of it.
Alright, yeah, sure. That door is out. I'm holding the actual impact panel. This alone is like maybe 15 pounds. I'm gonna go try and weigh it. Oh, did I just not film any of it? Fucking great job, me. Anyway, here we go. 10.5 pounds. Yay, ask the price, Chris. Yay! All the door cutting is done, as you can tell. All the doors are freaking empty. And we put the car on scales. Last time we raced it, 2440 was like the minimum we're at. And I needed to be about 100 pounds lighter. So now, after all the mods we've done this time, and Chach, you know, being the amazing dude that he is, check this out. 2345, 46-ish. With a camera in my hand, so without it, it would be 2345. The corner widths are a little bit off. Don't worry about it. I haven't had time to fuck with corner balance. But we cut almost like 80 pounds out of this car. That's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, the door still works too. The door's still like, you know, like it's not like this is flimsy or anything. This is crazy. Wow. That's awesome, man. All right, the GLTC AE86 is back at home base. Yay, and I want to do one final walk around of the engine bay side because we did a lot of really cool things on the engine bay side, and I think, you know, you don't see much of it other than the little hood and scoop.
Looks a hell lot better than a certain hood than a FD.
I know, right?
He's not even here.
He's not even here. He's gonna watch this video and be like, what the fuck? Anyway. He's catching straight bullets, but look at how nice this thing looks. Like, for 5 minutes of Alex's time, 3D designing and, you know, solid working, and, you know, multi-piece, held on with, what is it? Gorilla double-side tape. Yeah. No, this shit's strong as fuck. This is like not going anywhere.
Okay.
We said it.
Yeah, we said it,
yeah. And please do the honor, Alex, of raising the. Oh, sorry.
The now gutted.
The now gutted hood, which saved.
Surprisingly, it's a lot lighter, but still has a little bit of weight onto it.
It still has a bit of weight. But check this out. This is the engine bay. Now, first thing you see is the big ducting. All the bumper opening, basically all of these two, both get ducted straight through into the radiator and the oil cooler, which has 2 fans on the back of them. We have all of the structure, kind of everything cut out.
Yeah, and stuck out.
Stuck out.
The hood.
Yes, straight up this way, and it's sealed. It's got a little seal on it, so when the hood comes down, it seals really nice.
Yeah.
The header is reinforced onto with a little extra bracket onto the engine block, so hopefully it won't break this time. And we also added a flex joint on the bottom there, if you can see it. This is a titanium heat shield, held on with a couple of multiple points. 1 point down here to the heat shield for the VTEC solenoid, and also up here. I did this because I really wanted to protect my engine from being overheated by the high-rise header. Now you might ask, Jackie, why don't you just get rid of the high-rise header and solve that issue altogether? You might be right, but that's not hot boy.
Because the engine bay will be too empty on this side.
Yeah, doesn't that look awesome? So we're solving a problem that shouldn't exist in the first place. But anyway, TF high-rise header looks freaking epic. K-tune, the valve cover looks freaking bling bling and fantastic. We lost the oil cap last time with CMP, but so that OEM one is holding strong. TF intake manifold, the bling bling and the red and the carbon with a Skunk 2, I think. This is their starter body. Custom intake. Restrictor setup right here. We moved the overflow tank for this because now we added fire suppression nozzles over here, over there, and over there as per FIA rules. That's how fire suppression are supposed to be plumbed. There's a cable in the car with an E. As soon as I pull it, and also there's 2 more nozzles, kind of one over there, one somewhere here-ish. As soon as fire's on, I pull the handle, it ejects Novec, which is sort of gas, and it spills everywhere, hopefully put out the fire, the fuel on this side, and the exhaust fire on that side, and it puts out those stuff inside too. Wow.
Also, the car is lower, so loading tomorrow morning is gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Like, look at this. That is lower than the Supra right now.
Yeah, it's got an inch of ground clearance.
Barely.
Hey, but you know, okay. Look, also we've got mesh because at CMP last time, I think my radiator took a real beating. So Chach took the liberty of putting some mesh on the bumper for our ducting, so all my radiators stay mostly intact for the most part. And it just emphasizes the look. You know, it just emphasizes the aggressiveness look of this car. God, I love it.
Not bad.
That's my favorite car in the world. This is my favorite car in the world. I'll drive Supras and M2s all day, but this is my favorite car in the world.
Alright, I'm repoing the M2 for this weekend.
Alright, Alex is driving the M2. I'll drive this. Alright, good times. We'll see you all at Gingerman. Bye.